The purpose of this session is to solve a SimCAT live, so let's get started soon. Now, just a few pointers as to how I will be taking the session. First of all, I will be focusing on solving a bit less than what I normally do. Normally, of course, when I'm solving a SimCAT and I'm not solving it live, then I'm a bit faster because I'm reading in my mind, I'm not explaining things and so on. But if I just do everything in my mind, you might not get a lot out of the session. So I will focus on explaining my thought process wherever possible in brief and my logic for marking an option, let's say in VARC, or why I'm selecting a particular set in DILR. So all of that, of course, makes the process a little bit slower with respect to taking a test. Okay, so I will not really look to solve too many questions, but I'll focus on solving whatever questions I pick out. I will focus on picking out the easier questions and solving those properly. Okay, and explaining my thought process whenever possible. And the strategy always remains the same for me. Whatever kind of test it is, I always want to look for easy questions first, and I don't want to spend too much time on a single question. Okay, so that is the only test taking strategy that I will be following. So let's begin, nothing more to say. Let's start with VRC. Okay, so this is SimCAT 11. Okay, let's start. You can see the first passage is something about relentless appetite for data by tech giants. So something about data privacy probably. Alphabet, Facebook, personal information, making data more valuable. Okay. Impact on democracy, regulators, giving individuals control over data. Okay, so something about data and that companies have too much data, which is something we've all experienced in our life. So this seems to be an easy to read passage. I'm comfortable with the content. First question, why is it problematic? Okay. Uh, Breaking why not may not be sufficient. So I'll focus on that when I'm reading the passage. Okay, then there's a particular point, true competition remains elusive due to scale and network effects. Okay, keep that in mind. Feudalism and data serfdom. Okay. Okay, this is a passage that I'm comfortable with. I want to attempt this and mark it for review. There's a para summary. Para summary is something that I'm not really, because there's too much to read, so maybe I'll keep it for the end. Odd one out, maybe I'll attempt later. First, let's do the RCs. What is this? First myth about poverty. Okay. Okay, so something about poverty and myth is that it was always there. Okay, so we are debunking some myths about poverty. It doesn't seem to be too technical or too abstract. Yeah, so seems to be easy to read. If I look at the questions, all of the following are consistent with the author's argument. Okay, to look at the options. Uh, Most directly challenge the author's main argument. So I'll have to keep track of the main argument. Global highway and Wild West. Yeah, I'll focus on that part. Modern attitudes towards economic inequality. I'll focus on this also. So this also I want to attempt. Passage seems to be easy to read and understand. Questions are also seeming fine. 11 is odd one out. Sorry, fill in the blanks. 12 is odd one out. What is this passage? Magical thing. Total control. Okay, biographies are constrained by historical, political context, uncertain and random, new uncertainties. Maybe something about uncertainty that we can't have total control. Uh, Uncertainty influences our lives. Okay, seems to be simply about uncertainty itself. Okay, seems to be fine. Maybe a little bit abstract, but not too abstract also. Seems to be fine. Elements of uncertainty and luck are often dismissed because, okay, author is unlikely to disagree with any of the following and not a valid inference about the author. Neoliberal policy. Okay, I'm not very comfortable with statements like neoliberal policies. Maybe I will keep this passage for the last if I have time. social infrastructures and all of that. No, I find those passages a bit boring also. So I will not probably be very focused on that passage. So maybe I'll just keep it for later. If I look at this one, humans are lucky to live 100 years, made up of cells. Okay, something a bit scientific, metabolism, energy, single celled, viruses. Okay. All of these other paragraphs are starting with something about virus. So something about virus only, something a little bit scientific. So seems to be fine, definitely better than the previous one. I would definitely prefer this compared to something like neoliberal or social infrastructure. Okay, so these are the three RCs, and I'm guessing rest are VA. Okay, so let's start. Let me focus on these three RCs. So I'll read this in my mind mostly. Whenever I come across some point, I'll talk about it. Let's look at the first paragraph. Okay, so it's that tech giants, the big companies like Alphabet, Facebook, they were acquiring too much data, problem on democracy, and thriving on engagement advertising, culture of virality, fuels misinformation, harms public discourse. So we all know about this. We are all living in this period. And economically, their data advantage stifles competitions. Startups are struggling not due to lack of capital, but because of data. Okay. Regulators are taking notice. Uh, a lawsuit against Google for to block competition. Some believe only breaking up tech giants can restore competition. Dismantling them may not solve the problem. Real issue is data access. Okay, so it's not about breaking up the tech giants, it's about data access. Fair data distribution, three types of solutions, three categories: empowering individuals, collective action, government intervention. All three are required. Okay. One approach is giving individuals control over their data. Reclaiming data is difficult. Users lack bargaining power. Okay. Alternative solutions like subscription-based models, ad-free social networking for a fee, store and manage their data independently is another idea. Company is working with the government to provide citizen with pods for personal data storage. Okay, these are alternative, different possible solutions. Control the access to the information. Model in India allows individuals to transfer financial data. Account aggregators could reduce reliance on data giants. Okay, so one more possible solution. Collective action, data unions. Okay, fair compensation for data use, like labor unions, not to destroy tech platforms, but to ensure fairer distribution. Okay, so not to really destroy, but fairer distribution. And I think that was mentioned before also. And digital dividend, the users receive payment for data contributions. Okay, that way we would all have received a fair bit of money over the years. Okay, despite these efforts, government intervention remains crucial. Data privacy acts and all of that. Giving consumers more control, Data Act, antitrust laws to curb big tech's dominance. Okay, and tech companies claim they're responding, paying users for data voice recording. These are token moves. True competition remains elusive due to scale and network effects. Tech giants lobby aggressively against regulation, of course, arguing that users willingly exchange data for free services. Tide is turning. The debate is becoming one of the defining issues, just as feudalism that was there in one of the questions. Data serfdom may eventually be replaced by fairer system. Okay. So all about data and the issue with big companies which have a lot of data. If I look at this, tech giants dominance is problematic for which of the reasons? Directly manipulate market dynamics through data-driven interventions. I don't think I read something like that. Directly manipulating. I don't remember reading anything like manipulate. Okay, no, I don't remember this. Business models favor extreme content, sabotaging. That was there. Public discourse misinformation. Okay, so second, at second point I can eliminate. Restrict market competition, controlling access to user information. I think that is also there. Startups are struggling because they cannot access the data. Okay. Hmm. Prevent individuals from regaining control over their data. I think that was there, the bargaining power. Yes. So I think I'll go with the first option. Other options I can directly see in the passage. First option, manipulate wasn't there. Okay, let me not waste time. Next one implies that breaking up tech giants may not be sufficient solution. That was there. Breaking up tech giants. No, maybe a bit up. Dismantling them may not solve the problem. Real issue is data access. Okay. Uh, Smaller companies emerge from a breakup. No, nothing like that. Government regulations more effective. No. Users will continue to prefer. No. Dominance is not just about size, about exclusive act. Hi, that's exactly what has been given. Okay, simple question. Next one, true competition remains elusive due to scale and network issues. Where was that? At the end, true competition remains elusive. The author would most likely recommend which of the following measures. Scale and network issues, it's about data only. Okay. Breakup of, no, this he already said it won't work. Strict price controls, it's not about price, it's about data. Universal fairer access, I think this should be correct. Urging users not to share personal data freely. Okay, that is also about data, but giving individuals control over data, however, reclaiming data from tech platforms is difficult because lack bargaining power. So I don't think the fourth option will work then. And more fairer distribution of data was mentioned, I think. Fairer distribution was probably mentioned. Yeah, fair data distribution is crucial. Yeah, so I'll go with the third option. Last one, comparison feudalism was at the end. Just as feudalism gave way to property rights, okay, the common people had more rights. Serfdom may eventually be replaced by a fairer system. Used to point out that okay, users like medieval laborers have no control over their data, which tech giants exploit. Tech industry mirrors a feudal hierarchy with dominant firms akin to lords controlling land. Monopolies resist change, and no, not the third option. Doesn't seem to be good. Feudalism yielded to property rights. Data serfdom will naturally be replaced by. I think that is what has been given at the end. Na? Gave way to property rights, replaced by a fairer system. I'm not really sure about this. I can just eliminate the third option. Other options I don't know. Uh, I think it's just to point out that feudalism also ended and property rights were given. So data serfdom or same thing will happen with fairer system. So I think fourth option seems to be the relevant one. Okay. Okay, why is this getting marked? Yeah. Let's come to the next task. First myth about poverty is that it has always existed, always will. For most of human history, technological sophistication, material wealth were limited. Inequality was far less pronounced. Early indigenous cultures neither experienced nor would have recognized poverty. Okay, so poverty was not there before, but now it is there. Huh. Before it was not there, now it is there. Now poverty emerges with social stratification, exclusion, and restricted access worsens when money becomes the primary means. Okay, so poverty worsens when money becomes the primary means. Okay, and earlier we did not have money, but maybe barter system, hunter-gatherers, all of that. Okay, denying growing numbers of people direct access to food, shelter, the vital resources makes them dependent on money. Property enriches owners as much as it excludes. Okay, it enriches the owners and excludes others. And money, because of money, it became a problem. Okay. Humans were born to an immense abundance naturally existing. History is rife with accounts of people made poor by the greed of others. We all know about this. In England, enclosure acts privatized common lands. Enslaved Africans, labor was violently extracted. Colonial wealth, indigenous peoples were subjected to genocide. Okay, lies a choice. Governments, corporations, elites to prioritize power and profit over people. Would you Guthrie's words? Some will rob you with a six gun, some with a fountain pen. Okay, and some with a keystroke in digital age. Predatory lending, financial manipulation, multinational corporations deepen inequality. Okay, so it's mostly because some people want a lot of money at the cost of other people suffering, greed of others. Okay, so lies a choice. It's about the choice people are making to benefit themselves and letting other people suffer. Okay. Land grabs. Okay, so it's all examples of the same thing happening. Dispossession came through whether genocide, war, and all. It is not where humans began, so which was mentioned at the beginning. Natural wealth had to be parceled out, fenced in, privatized, and licensed. Privatized, licensed, and all. Before those excluded could be labeled the poor. What thoughtful people call the problem of poverty, thoughtful poor people call a problem of riches. Because there was enough abundance, but it was not distributed. Okay. Will poverty always be with us? Depends on what we do about the condition. It's not natural. It results from deliberate systems and policies. Okay. So it's about the systems and policies we have created. Second myth is that poverty is merely a lack of money. Only when wealth accumulation became modern society's operating logic, life become about money and capital. Okay, so it was about when wealth accumulation became a priority that life became about money and capital, and that was an issue. We are schooled to envy those in Teslas and to pity, ignore, or those who are struggling. Uh, Regardless of ideology, most assume lifting up everyone to the standards of, okay, the Tesla driver is the goal. Few warn of running out of land, clean air, and water. Most, however, remain busy keeping up, eager to pass those in their way. Okay, so some of them are worried about natural resources. Most are just busy keeping up. So just going for progress, more wealth, more money. Okay. Some stretches of the global highway, like Scandinavia's, have protections, speed limits, guardrails, emergency services. So I guess it's a global highway. Okay, must be for the economy and the systems and all of that. Others resemble 19th century Wild West, barefoot travelers are pushed aside. Whether the highway moves relatively safely, chaotically, or with efficiency, logic is the same. Okay, so it's about having systems in place, I guess, the protections. Okay, even an outsider would notice the absurdity. People are perpetually busy, yet neither the purpose nor destination is discussed. Okay, assumption remains more is better. Keep trying to get more wealth, more money. This is a highway to nowhere. It will never end. Above all, poverty cannot be reduced to a dollar value. If it were that simple, eradicating poverty would be a trivial matter of transferring funds. Okay. All of the following statements are consistent with the author's argument. Poverty is a product of historical disposition and deliberate policy choices. I think all of this was mentioned. The policies, the systems we have, dispossession with the all the Africans and the genocide and all of that. Assumption wealth and consumption is the goal for societies is flawed. I think that was there. Yeah, perpetually busy, yet neither purpose nor destination. Okay, that is also there. Property rights and redistribution of resources cannot eradicate poverty. Property right and redistribution cannot eradicate. At the end, it's given poverty cannot be reduced to dollar value, but that's more about money. Here, it's about property right, redistribution of resources. Okay, I'll keep it on hold. Reducing reliance on money for basic needs could reduce inequality. I think money part was mentioned at the beginning that worsens when money becomes the primary means. Money increase the poverty because we start using money. So if we reduce reliance, it could help with the inequality. Okay, last option seems to be fine. Second, first. Okay, I think third option is the one that I can go for because others seem to be eliminated. Yeah, first, second, fourth, all of them were there. So I'll go for the third one. Okay, if I don't have too much time, I'll look at the next one. Which of the following, if true, with most directly challenge the author's main argument? Main argument, one thing was first myth is that poverty has always existed and always will. And second myth is poverty is merely a lack of money. Okay, so it's always been there and First myth was it has always existed. That is a myth, which means it has not always existed. That is one of the author's argument. And second myth, it's merely a lack of money, but it's a myth. So it's not just about lack of money. Okay, these are the two arguments. First one, even early hunter-gatherer societies experienced significant wealth disparities and resource-based social hierarchies. That is with the first myth. It was there before also. So this is directly contradicting, challenging. Okay, this option is valid. Poverty has always existed. That is the same thing, regardless of economic systems or policies. That was also there. Was also part of the argument. Deliberate systems and policies. Okay, second also seems fine. Privatization of land and resources led to greater economic efficiency and higher living standards for the majority. Uh, but majority, then still some people will be poor. So this doesn't seem right. And large scale redistribution of wealth and resources has successfully eradicated poverty. So this is supporting the argument. This is not challenging. Okay, so either first one or second one. First one is about the early hunter-gatherer societies. They also had disparities. Okay, so that is challenging. And second one always existed in all societies. Okay, and regardless of economic systems or policies. Okay, I think I'll go for the second one because what is there in the first one, that poverty has always existed, that is there in the second one also, but second one also talks about the economic system. So I think it challenges the arguments more. 2 points. Okay. And global highway and wild west, yes, that was there. It was about the protections, having the systems in place. Okay. Global highway, wild west have been used. Metaphor for the chaotic and unregulated nature. So Wild West is definitely related to chaotic and unregulated nature of economic system. Yeah, this seems good. Rhetorical reference to historical periods, expansion and progress. Not really. It was more about the security measures, and it was about the economy as okay. I don't think the second one seems fine. Ironical reference to globalization, how countries experience varied. No, it's not about just globalization. It's about poverty. Okay. A literal description of our technology and economic growth benefits some region more than others. Not really. I think with respect to the Wild West part, the only thing is chaotic and unregulated. There's no other option which is really capturing the Wild West part. There's nothing wild about the other option. Okay, first one seems to be the best. Last one, author imply about modern attitudes towards economic inequality. Most people accept economic inequality natural consequence of progress and competition. That I think people do, but I don't think it was mentioned here. Okay, next one. There's a widespread belief poverty can be eliminated through economic growth and increased consumption. I think that belief is also there, but was it mentioned here? I don't think so. Governments and corporations actively work to reduce, but systemic barriers make progress slow. Systemic barriers and all were there, but okay, I don't know. Many individuals acknowledge economic disparities, but remain preoccupied with their own financial struggles. This seems good because question is asking author imply about modern attitudes. And this part I remember. Most, however, remain busy keeping up, eager to pass those in the way. And many remain preoccupied with their own financial struggles. I think this seems to be fine. Only few of them worry about the clean air, land, and all, but most remain busy keeping up. Most remain preoccupied with financial struggles and seems to match with modern attitudes. Okay, now I don't have too much time, but let's try to do this RC quickly. Okay. Humans are lucky to live 100 years. Oak trees may live 1,000. Mayflies a single day or alive in the same way. Made up of cells which embody flows of energy and stores of information. Metabolisms make use of that energy from sunlight or food to build new molecules, break down old ones using mechanism described in the genes they inherited. Okay. Okay, they're all alive in the same way, made up of cells. Okay. It is this endlessly repeated, never quite perfect reproduction, which explains why oak trees, humans, and every other plant, fungus, or single celled organism you have ever seen or felt the presence of are all alive in the same way. Okay, they're all alive in the same way. Most fundamental of all family resemblances go far up any creature's family tree. You'll find an ancestor that sits in your family tree. Okay, common ancestor. Okay, so it's just comparing and saying we're all made up in the same way. Travel further, you will find what scientists call the last universal common ancestor, Luca. Not the first living thing, one which set the template for the life that exists today. Okay, so it's talking about how living beings are common. They have common things. There are viruses, the link between metabolism and genes that bind together all life to which you are related from bacteria and blue whales is broken. Okay. Viral genes have no cells, no bodies, no metabolism of their own. Like tiny particles, virions, which the genes come back packaged. Corona, Ebola are entirely inanimate. Okay, so I think this is just providing a contrast. First, it was talking about what is common, and then there are viruses, entirely inanimate, no bodies, no metabolism. Okay, so viruses are different, and virus is not the virion. Virion is tiny particles in which genes come packaged. Okay, virus is a process, not a thing, truly alive only in the cells of others, a virtual organism running on borrowed hardware. Okay, uh, to produce more copies, some bite their time. Others immediately set about producing enough variants to split their host. Okay. That is why, asked whether viruses are alive, Eckhart, a chemist, offers a yes and no. Viruses, he says, alternate between non-living and living. Yeah, so I guess when they occupy something or infect something, then they are living. He became the first person in the world to take an array of non-living chemicals, build a virion from scratch, virion which was then able to get itself reproduced. Okay. Fact that viruses have only a tenuous claim to being alive hardly reduces their impact on things which are indubitably so. Yet they have a tenuous claim on being alive, but they still have an impact on things which are alive. No other entities are as ubiquitous and few as consequential. Number of copies of their genes to be found are beyond astronomical. Billions of stars, couple of trillion galaxies, but virus in surface waters, any sea can outnumber all the stars. Okay. Back on Earth, viruses kill more living things than any other predator. They fundamentally shape the balance of species. Okay. It seems to be mostly about virus. It started off with comparing living beings and saying that they all have something common in their genes, or if we go back in the ancestry, but viruses are very different, and they can be living or non-living. They've had a good impact also. Okay. Tone of the passage, expository reflective, combines scientific explanation with contemplation on nature of life. Scientific explanation was definitely there. The Luca and all of that. Yeah, and the genes and all of that, virions, definitely is scientific, but contemplation on the nature of life, that I did not feel too much. Maybe fundamentally shape the balance of species or something about the comparing with the stars and so on. Okay, not sure about the second part. The scientific part is definitely there. Neutral and detached, presents factual information about life and viruses without any interpretive insights. Factual information is there without any interpretive insights. There is some interpretation that they fundamentally shape the balance of species, they have impact and all of that. Okay. Mm. Next one, philosophical, existential questions, that is open and abstract. No, this did not seem like that at all. This option I'll eliminate. Speculative and alarmist. Threats, virus, definitely not. Okay. So between first and second option, uh, scientific explanation, factual information. Both seem to be there, but I would prefer to go for scientific because a lot of scientific terms have been used like Luca, virion, and all of that. Contemplation, you can still say, okay, I'll go for the scientific one. That seems more relevant. Next one, all the following inferences are supported except. Classification of viruses highlights the limitations of biological categorization. Okay, maybe with the living or non-living thing. That part was there. Okay. All cellular life shares a fundamental biochemical blueprint that excludes viruses. That was there, but we are looking for those which are not supported. So this is eliminated. Viruses play a significant role in shaping ecological. Yeah, that was also there, the impact they have. Boundary between living and non-living is arbitrary and based on perception. Uh, I think living and non-living was there. Yeah, living and non-living was there, but biological categorization. No, I think living and non-living is more specific, so I can say that this was supported. But we did not talk generally about biological categorization. That's a bit more vague. Second one was definitely there. Sharing the blueprint, okay. Significant role, the impact. Third was definitely the supported. Living, non-living was also supported, definitely. Okay, first option seems to be correct. And which of the following, if false, would be consistent with the characteristics? If false would be consistent, which means if false would be supported by the passage. Okay. Viruses rely on external cells. So this is definitely true. This is already supported by the passage. Okay, so this can't be correct. Like genetic material of viruses does not decide their ability to infect other species. I don't remember this being mentioned anywhere. Viruses lack metabolic activity to independently generate energy. I think that is there. They have no cells, no bodies, no metabolism, so no metabolic activity. So this is anyway there. We'll not prove it false. Okay, this is eliminated. Influence the genetic evolution of other living organisms. That was also there, the impact part. Impact on things. But genetic evolution. I guess if it's, yeah, if it's living inside the being, producing interference, okay. So I think fourth option is also supported. It's already there. Third option is already there. No point proving it false. First is already there. Second, it's not there, but okay, I think I'll go with the option elimination. First, third, and fourth are already there in the passage. So why will we prove them false? Why would they support if they are false? Okay, I'll go with second. Passage refers to Eckhard Wimmer's work primarily to highlight concerns. No, the Eckhard one was living, non-living. Viruses are alive, yes and no. Alternate between non-living, living. Okay. So ethical concerns, no, nothing like that. Viruses are distinct from traditional living organisms. So that could be valid. They are definitely different from traditional living part. Classifying virus as living or non-living is ambiguous. This seems more relevant. It could be yes and no, so ambiguous. Viruses can be created from non-living. No, I think that was just to, yeah, give some credibility. So out of second and third options, distinct from traditional but living or non-living, ambiguous. I think the ambiguous part, the yes and no part, that seems to be the point. Okay. So how much time? 7 minutes. Let me look for short questions. Now there's too much to read here. This one, okay, seems better. Modern infrastructure projects and international partnerships reflect their impact. Nations along the Silk Roads shaped global trade, culture, and politics. Okay. These routes linked China, Central Asia, Middle East, Europe, powerful empires like the Chinese, Persian, Indian, Roman flourished through trade. Okay, and sentences, modern infrastructure projects and international partnership reflect their impact. Cities became major commercial hubs, merchants exchanged silks, spices, metals, and knowledge. Also spread religions, innovations such as paper making, gunpowder traveled along these routes, diplomacy grew. has exchanged ideas. Despite the decline with trade, left a lasting legacy. Roots connected diverse cultures, shaping history more than trade paths. They were bridges between civilizations that shaped the world. Okay. Okay, so we are looking for modern infrastructure projects and international partnerships has reflected the impact of the Silk Roads. So, modern part and the impact part. First is global trade, and these routes. Okay, doesn't seem like the first one. Powerful empires flourished. Okay, we're talking about empires, not really modern projects, so not the second one. Cities became major commercial hubs. Merchants exchanged silk spices. Okay, still not come to any modern part. Silk roads also spread religions. Innovations, okay, innovation, we're coming into modernity. Diplomacy grew as nation exchanged ideas. Decline with maritime trade left a lasting legacy. So legacy seems to be connected with the impact part. And these roots connected diverse cultures, shaping history in ways still visible today. Bridges between civilizations shaped the world for centuries. So I think fourth one seems to be best because of the legacy and impact part. And just before this, we had the innovation, which is related to the modernity. Yeah, I think fourth one is best. If I look at 11, 11 is short. Okay, let me read it. It's an excellent climber, often nests in tree hollows or burrows. Okay, so we are talking about it being a good climber and where is it nesting? So maybe characteristics and behavior. Okay, zebra rat, rare and little known rodent, striped fur, zebra's pattern. Okay, so we are describing, but we are describing the fur and the name, not the behavior. Okay, nocturnal animal is found in dry grass and scrublands. Okay, where is it found? Which is seems to be connected with where it nests. And climber part could also be related. Okay, rat feeds on seeds, insects, and small fruits. Strong legs helps to jump long distances. Main threats, habitat loss has affected population, wildfires. Okay, this definitely cannot be it. We've shifted to wildfires and habitat loss. Scientists are studying behavior, ecology. Okay, behavior at least is still related. Conservation is, but no, we are still talking about conservation. Okay, so definitely not three or four. That is about conservation and population, all of that. So one and two, uh, one and two. One we have name. We are talking about the name. So I think two is better because after one we are talking a bit broadly about where is it found, like dry grasslands and scrublands, and then we are becoming a bit more specific that it is often in tree hollows or burrows. So makes more sense to go from broader perspective to broader to more specific. So two should be fine. Okay, this is also easy to read. Population aging is not limited to advanced economies. Pop, wait, this is para or odd one? Identify the odd sentence. Okay. Population aging not limited to advanced economies. In South Korea, where fertility rates dropped zero point 0.7 in 2023, sales of drop strollers surpassed. Okay, fertility rate and population aging, that is connected. Schools in some regions are closing. Countries like Germany, Italy, Japan face labor shortages, increasing pressure on elder care, falling birth rate, and longer life expectancy. So all of them about population, aging, and birth rate, and all of that. If I try to connect them, what could be the first sentence? Maybe the fifth one, falling birth rates and longer life expectancy. That seems to be a general one. And then maybe we are providing examples with different countries in 4 and 2. And 3 is closing due to fewer students. 1 is not limited to advanced economies. Yeah, I think 2, 3, 4, 5 are connected because they're all about reshaping advanced economies. Like schools are closing, But schools is not really about advanced economies. Mm, Population aging not limited to advanced economies, but you've not really provided examples of other economies. Okay, I don't have much time. Think I'll have to guess something for this. I'm thinking either one or three. If I go for one, there's no example for economies which are not advanced. Schools are closing, but schools in which regions? There also, I don't know if it's for advanced or not. Okay, let me go for three. Not sure about it, but at least no negative. Is there anything short? Okay, that's an RC. This will take time to read. Take time. I don't think I have time with this. Okay, let me quickly mark something here. Japan is isolated. America's far right. Okay, I don't think there's enough time, so let me just guess something. Uh, Let me just guess something, maybe food. Okay, that's just a guess. Okay, I think I have to now open the OneNote. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me just read the set before I open the rough pad. Small town has fewer than 1 lakh voters who participated in some election. Fewer than 1 lakh. Okay. Each voter had to go to a designated place, polling booth, to cast the vote. Each polling booth accommodated exactly 1,000 voters. Altogether, exactly 1,000 voters. Okay. That is seems to be good information. Five candidates are there. Okay, just five candidates. Total number of valid votes received by the five candidates equal the total number of eligible voters. Valid votes equal number of everyone is getting one vote. Then. Huh. Following table summarizes the percentage of votes received by the candidates. We have not very convenient values, but at least values are there. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, D we have something missing, but others we have everything. And P and Q are two co-prime natural numbers. Co-prime natural numbers. Okay. And nothing else. I think this is a set that should be easy. Logic seems simple. 100% we can subtract all of these and we will get P by Q because these are the only five candidates. And polling booth, exactly 1,000 in every. So this seems definitely very doable. Easy data is there. I'll probably start with this unless there's something easier. Five questions also. Okay. There is a colony consisting of six houses in two rows on either side of a common land. Six houses in two rows. Okay. Houses numbered 1E, 2E, 3 face east, 1W and all face west. Each house on the east faces the corresponding house on the west. Okay, so something about arrangement of the houses. Each house is home to two distinct pets. No two houses share the common same combination. Seven types of pets we have been given. Additional points. You look at the points, all six are of different types, which is not the case for East. Okay, deductive point. Dogs are present in three, parakeets are in two, again deductive. House 3E has a duck and a hamster. Okay, that's direct. One more hamster, one more duck. Okay. Two pairs of houses share one common pet type. One such pair has been given, which both have a dog. No west facing house has a chinchilla. Of the three west facing, turtle, sheep, dog. Okay, seems manageable, but doesn't seem to be very easy. You'll have to make the arrangement, and a lot of points are deductive points. I'll mark it for review, but I don't want to start with this set. Okay, some bar graph. Traders, largest retailer firm sells water tanks to warehouses, and each purchases stock from the manufacturers on the first day of each month. Monthly sales projection, opening stock plus purchase. Okay. Okay, whatever they are projecting to sell, they want that much stock. So opening stock plus purchase. The closing stock of any month is the same as opening stock, of course. And the following two bar graphs show the opening stock purchase and sales volume. None were defective. No, nothing was unsold. Okay. Opening stock purchase sales, all of these have been given, both warehouses. And some tanks may be transferred. Okay, warehouse receiving the tanks could have achieved the sales figure without a transfer, was deemed a bad one. Okay. Team responsible is given special incentive if the actual sales lies in the range of plus minus 20% on the sales. Seems doable, but seems time consuming. Two warehouses, opening, purchase, sale, lot of data, then these additional points. Seems doable, but I don't think in a live solving special session, especially with all these calculations, it will be manageable. And maybe it will seems like it will be time consuming. So maybe I will leave this. Next one, Viva Rapid Chess annual competition. Four students. Okay, four students of two different houses. Each student has to play against each student. Okay, they're playing against the other house. Four students of water house, number of matches one. Four students of earth, number of matches one. Okay, we have number of matches won by all the students. Matches Anushka won. Okay, some specific points. Each match had exactly one winner. Ah, of course. Which two players won? Will we get cases here? Definitely true. Okay. If it is known that Anushka won against Rimjim, so we'll not be able to find everything. But still, I feel like the data here, I know what kind of a table I will make. So I've solved this kind of set before where I know the data. I'll make four students in the rows and four students in the columns because they'll be playing against each other. Okay, maybe I can try this out. At least there's not too much data. So even if there are cases, maybe I can explore. What is this one? Marketing professional, wide distribution network responsible for sales and distribution. Let's visit these cities connected by roads. Okay, the roads and what are the numbers? Lengths are given in kilometers. Okay. Travel by cars rented from these two as per company policy. We have the charges. Travels to a city, visits the clients there. He has to book a different rented car from either of the car. Okay. Mm. It seems doable, but again, I don't want to deal with a lot of data here. See the questions. Where will it become equal? Doesn't seem very simple. Which combination will be cheapest? No, I don't want to check too many combinations. Okay, this question still seems doable, but still I think it will be time consuming. Maximum cost, minimum cost. No, seems time consuming. Okay, let's not waste more time. Let's just start with the first set, which is seems to be the easiest one. I'll just share the 1 second. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So here I know what to do already. 100% minus these. If I just start adding, hmm, 4722, that is 69, 13, 82 plus 10, 92 plus 7, 99. Okay, so 99 is there. And now for the fractions. So 1 by 8, 1 by 7, 1 by 6, 1 by 5. 8, 7, 6, 5. 8, 6 LCM is 24. 24 into 5, 120. 120 into 7, 840. 840 is the LCM. 8 into 105. 7 into 120. 6 into 140. And 5 into 168. If I add these, 400, 500, 528, and 533 out of 840. Okay, let me just check this. 105, 400, 500, 520, 528, 529. Okay, seems fine. And this was the remaining 1%. So from 1, we'll subtract 533. So I'll get, sorry, 307 by 840. 307 by 840. They are natural numbers, but are they co-prime? 840 is what? 840 has 8 into 105. 105 is 3 into 5 into 7. 307 not divisible by 8, of course, not by 3, not by 5. 7 not divisible by 7. Okay, they are co-prime. Seems to be fine. And okay, so this is P by Q. P by Q. Total number of polling booths. Total number of polling booths. Is there any question with P by Q? P maximum, minimum. Okay, no, I'll have to focus on the polling booths. Fewer than 1 lakh voters. Each polling booth accommodated exactly 1,000 voters. Okay, number of voters has to be natural number. Each booth has 1,000 voters. So total number of voters will be multiple of 1,000. So total number of votes will be multiple of 1,000. Okay, multiple of 1,000, and all of these number of votes have to be natural numbers. Can't be decimal. So if it's 1,000, then these like something like 47% will be fine. 47 by 100 into 1,000, we'll get a natural number, but I have to look at the fraction part. Okay, 1 by 8%. Okay, in fact, so P by Q is 307 by 840. So I'll have 300 P by Q 307 by 840. And I'll have 10 of that, 10 P by Q. So something will be there, but divided by 840. And then I have percentages also. So I'll have 840 percentage will give me 100. 840 into 100, 84,000. So in the denominator, I will get 84,000. For the numerator, I should have 84. Seems like 84,000 seems to be fine. Because then this will be cancelled off. And it will be a multiple of 1,000 also. Seems to be fine. Less than 1 lakh also. Okay. Total number of polling booths. If I have 1,000 in every one and I have uh, 84,000, so 84. Let me check the options. Good that options are there. If I have 57,000, 57,000. Okay, anything with 1,000, these three zeros will get cancelled off, but 57, 84, I'll not be able to cancel off. 64 also, it will not work. 72 also, it will not work. Okay, it has to be 84. Seems simple. Number of votes received by Debu. Debu got 10 P by Q. Okay, this is just what we are calculating. So let me do it this way. 10% first. 10% of this is what? 10% of this is 8,400. And P by Q percent after that. 307 by 84,000. P by Q percent. 307 by 84,000. And then into 84,000. So 307. So 8707. Is that there? Yeah. Okay, easy. This was easy. Difference between maximum and minimum number of votes received by a candidate. Highest is 47 1 by 8, lowest is 7 1 by 5. 47 minus 7 will be 40. 1 by 8 minus 1 by 5. So LCM of 40 and I'll get 1 by 8 minus 1 by 5. So I will get 5 minus 8 minus 3. 1 by 8 minus 1 by 5. So I'll get minus 3. Okay, so I have to calculate 40% and minus 3 by 40% of 84,000. 84,000, 10% is 8,400. So 40% is 4 times that, 32,000 and 1,600. So 33,600. 3 by 40%. So that will be 3 by 40 into 100. 3 by 4,000 into 84,000. 421. 63. So minus 63. 33,537. Okay, straightforward. If I look at the next one, median value of number of votes received by median. Okay. Other than Isha. So if I remove Isha, I have 4 candidates. So the median should be the average of the 2 middle ones. These are already in increasing order, 10, 13, 22, 47. So average of B and C. Average of B and C. First of all, if I do average of 22 and 13, that is 35. Average will be 17.5. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me just add them up. I'm getting 35 plus 1 by 7 plus 1 by 6. That will be 6 plus 7, 13 by 42. So this percent and this percent, that is the total they are getting, B plus C. And for average, I'll do divided by 2. Okay, let me just find this. 35%, I'll use the calculator. I don't want to waste time. 0.35 into 84,000. So 29399, so 29400 approximately. This is easy. 42 is there. 13 by 4200 into 84,000. 4200 will go 20 times. 1320, that will be 260. So 29,660 by 2. So I'll get 14830. Yeah, perfect. Okay, one more question. Number of voters in the town will be more than 1 lakh if number of existing voters increases by X%. Minimum possible value of X, which is a natural number. Okay, so 84,000 is what we have. If we increase this by X%, 1 plus X%, it will become more than 1 lakh. So let me find 1 lakh by 84,000. Okay, that will give us 1 plus X% greater than 1.19. X% greater than 1.1904. Let me write a few more. Okay, X% greater than 0.1904. X% is X by 100. So if we multiply with 100, greater than 19.04. So minimum possible will be 20. Okay. Okay, seems like the first set was the right choice. Of course, I'm slow because of the live solving session, but within the limitations of the live solving session, happy with the first set. Now, should I do this one or this one? Okay, I'll do this one because I know exactly what table I will make rather than thinking about the arrangement. I know the table. I will have 4 students in the rows A, B, C, D. Okay, simple. A, B, C, D. 4 students in the column P, R, S, T. P, R, S, T. Okay, my lines are getting slanted anyway. Number of matches 1. A is 3. B is 2. C is 1. D is 2. Number of matches 1. B is 2. R is 3, S is 2, T is 1. Okay. And Anushka won the match against Tina. Anushka won against Tina. Hmm. Okay, I'll represent it like this. Anushka won. Okay, so I'll represent from the perspective of the roles. Anushka won this, and which means Tina lost. So for the columns, I'll have to look at the opposite. Okay, I'll just have to be careful about that. Anushka won against Tina. B won against Priyanka. B won against Priyanka, and P lost against B. Okay. C lost against R. C lost against R. R won against C. Okay. S won against D. S won, which means D lost. D lost, so D lost here. Okay, so this is all that has been given. Can I make any deduction before coming to the question? I look at extreme numbers like 3 matches won or 1 match won. Uh, C only 1 match won, but I don't have the match, so I don't know. A 3 matches won, but I don't know which match is lost. B 2 matches won, I don't know which is the other one. D 2 matches could be anyone. P is winning 2 matches. Okay, 1 match it is losing here. Which matches it is winning, I don't know. R is winning 3 matches. Now this match C is losing. C is losing, so R is winning. Okay, other 2 matches I don't know. S is winning 2 matches. It's winning 1 match here, other match I don't know. T is winning one, but this one T is losing. Okay, I don't think I can make any deduction here. I look at the first question, which two players won the matches against P? Against P, A and B, B definitely won. B won against B. Now it other one could be A or C or D, that we already know. A or C or D. No, I can't make any deduction, so I think I'll have to start making cases. I'll go as per this question only. At either A1 against P or B1, sorry, A1 or C1 or D1. Okay, let me make more tables. PRST. Just trying to put them in the same order so that I don't get confused. Three, two, one, two. Okay, one more table. Okay, I think this will be the last set I can try. It takes time to make these tables on this digital page. Okay. Okay, let me make cases. I've made 3 tables. So in this case, I'll say that A is winning against B, and these are the 2 people winning against B. Other 2 people are losing against B. Okay, so this is the case where A is winning against B. Then case where C is winning against B, other 2 people are losing. And then D is winning against B, other 2 people are losing. Okay, let's do one case at a time. Otherwise, it will become confusing. In the first case, we're now getting any help with any extreme values. Uh, so for D, we have 2 matches lost here, and D has to win 2 matches. So D has to win these 2 matches. Okay, and R has to win 3 matches, but one R is losing against D. So R will win other 3 matches, which means ABC will lose. And A is losing this match, but it has to win three. So we'll have this also winning. Now what else? Okay, T has to win one match, but we don't know which one. S has to win two, one we only know. C has to win one, we don't know. B has to, okay, nothing more I can do here. If I look at this one, anything opening, okay, A is losing one, but it has to win three, so it has to win these two. B winning two, I don't know other one. C winning one, I have, so C will be losing these. D has to win two, so it has to win these. Okay. Then R has to win three, but here R is already losing two. R is already losing. It can just win one more. No, then this is not working out. Okay, I think this is not working out. So maybe this is not correct. If I look at this one, A has to win three. It's losing one. So it will be winning these three. R has to win three. And it's losing one. So it will be winning these three. Okay. What else? D has to win two. So I'll have one more here. And B has to win two. Could be any two. Uh, C has to win one, could be any of these. S has to win two. Okay, T. Okay, I think nothing more I can fill. So which one got cancelled off? B and C got cancelled off. B and C. So C1 got cancelled off, which means third one, first and two. So I'll go with this. Which of the following is definitely true? Tina won against T1 against B. Here T and B, I have no idea. If I look at the other one, T against P, I have no idea. Okay. C1 against S. I don't know here. I don't know here. A1 against P. A is winning against P, but of course not here. D1 against T. D is winning against T here. D is winning against T here. Okay, perfect. If it is known that Anushka won against Rimchim, if A won against R, which is happening here, what about the other one? Not happening here. So we are looking at this case. For how many matches the result cannot be determined? No, we can't determine for four matches. In this case, we can't determine, okay, should be four. Yeah, seems fine. If it is known that T1 against C, for how many matches? T1 against C. Now here also T could win. Here also T could win. So I'll have to explore these cases. Okay, is there any question after this? No, different. Okay, then last question, so I can just fill it up. If T1 against C, we heard T is winning against C. Other matches T is losing. Okay. And B, I have two matches won, so it is losing this one. C, one match won, this one. Okay, so this is what I have. And here T1 against C. T is winning, losing these others. B is winning two, which I have. Okay, so this is crossed. S is already winning two, so it's losing this one. C is winning one. Perfect. How many matches can the result be determined? Okay, so in both of these cases, which are valid, T is winning against C. And how many matches? Okay, so should be the common matches. Let me just erase this circle. I'll just circle which ones are common because those ones we can determine if T is winning against C. Basically, which are happening in both cases. Those are the ones which we can determine. But if the matches are different in different cases, then we can't determine. It's difficult to compare by scrolling. But anyway, let me look at A's ones. Tick, cross, tick, tick. Tick is not here, cross, tick, tick. So I think these two are common. If I look at these ones, let me do here only. Tick, cross, cross, tick. Tick, cross, cross, tick. I think all of these are common. Yeah. If I look at C's, cross, cross, tick, cross. Cross, cross, tick, cross. Okay, all of these are common. If I look at D, cross, tick, cross, tick. Cross, tick, no. Cross tick. These last two are common. Cross tick, cross tick. Okay, so how many matches can we determine? 12. Out of 16, we can determine for 12. Okay. I have time remaining, but I don't know if I'll be able to solve this within this time. Let me maybe look for some individual questions. Maybe not this one. Maybe the last set seemed like one question I could do individually. Maybe question 21. Travel from M to S, something directly has been given without any client visits, without any client visiting on this at the cities, without any client visits. Okay, client visits. Okay. Minimum cost of this journey. So M to S, M to S, all the way there. Hmm. So there's no client visit. So I think third point I don't have to use. Just passes through a city but has no client visits. He can continue his journey in the same car. Okay, so same car. So should he go for Mayur or Garuda? There's 14 rupees for first 100. So first 100 is 1400 and the remaining 8. Okay, let me make some space. I would have preferred to go for this one, but I'm not sure if I can solve it in 10 minutes, especially in live solving. Okay, so I'll stick with this one. Uh, if I look at the distance, okay, minimum distance first I need. See, A to S I definitely have to do, so I have to do that 180. So let me think about possibilities. A to S. Now, for A, I can either go from N to A or J. Okay, let me just think of it this way. MPJ. Let me just write the roots. MPJ. From there, I can either go AS or MPJ. I can go NAS. From MPJ, I can either go to AS or NAS. Okay. If I look at MRN, I can go AS or MRN JAS. Okay, these are the routes. If I quickly add, MPJ will be the same in both of them, 250 and 370, that is 620. Similarly, MRN will be the same, 180, 270, so that is 450. Yeah. And then here from J, then A, then S. So 330. So we're getting 950 here MPJ NAS, sorry, NAS. MPJ I had calculated. So then N80, A100 and 180. So 180, 180, 360. Okay, this is more distance, 980. And MRN and then AS. So 280. Okay, this is definitely much less, 730. I'm missing some condition. Okay. Uh, JAS 80, 150, 180. So 230, 180, 410. So that is 860. Is it given that he has to visit all the cities? Sales and distribution of the products in 7 cities. Visit these cities very often, connected. Okay, not given that he has to visit. So if he has to go from M to S, I think minimum is 730. If we have for Mayur, that will be 1400 for first 100 and the remaining 630 for 8. I calculate 8 into 63, 480 and 24. So 504, 5040 and 1400. So I will get 6440. And if I look at the other one, 12 for 200. So 2400 there and 200. So 530 will be remaining into 6. So that is 3000 and 180. 3180, 2400. So that is 5580. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, seems like a lot of effort for one question, but maybe some other question will be manageable. If he is in city P, has to visit in A and S and come back to P. Cannot use M. Has to visit clients also. Okay, that one more condition will be there. Difference between maximum cost of traveling between any two cities directly connected by a single road and minimum cost of traveling between any two cities uh, maximum minimum difference between any two cities directly connected by a single road. Any two cities. So minimum is will be 80 and maximum will be 370 distance. Maximum is 370, minimum is 80. For maximum, I need the most cost. Will I get it for Mayur or Mayur will be how much? Mayur will be 1400 uh, plus for the remaining 270 into 8. And the other one will be 2400 plus 170 remaining into 6. Okay, I'll do this calculation later. And here 80. 80 it will be the same. 14 into 80. So 1120. And here 12 into 80. 960. So minimum will be 960. Maximum if I calculate 27 into 8, 3 cube into 2 cube, 6 cube, 216, 2160 and 1400. So I'm getting 3560 and here 17 into 6, 102, 1020. 2400, 1020. So I'm getting 3420. So maximum is this. Okay, 60 gets cancelled off. 3500 minus 900. That should be 2600. 2600 is there. Okay, good. Now this set seems to be a bit more worth it. Shortest distance for which costs are equal. Okay, I think this will be some equation. If I let the distance be x, Mayur will be 1400 plus x minus 100 into 8. And this has to be equal to 2400 plus x minus 200 into 6. Okay, if I solve it, 2400 minus 1400, 1000. Here I have 8x, 8x minus 800, and here 1000 plus 6x minus 1200. So I'm getting 2x, 1800 minus 1200, 600. So x should be 300. 300. Okay, 300 is not there in the options. I made a mistake. 1400 for 100 and then remaining x minus 100, 8. That is fine. 2400 and then remaining x minus 200, 6. For each car hired. Okay, I thought it was per kilometer. 8 rupees per kilometer for each car hired. Mhm. Okay, now I'm not very sure about this set. Let me check the others. Here, can I use the options? Let me try to quickly use the options. If I do 120, I will get 1400 plus 20 into 8, 160. Oh, it could be less than 200. Okay. And here I will get 12 into 120, 1440. No, that will not work. So 150. So I will have 1400 plus 50 into 8, 400. And 150 into 12, 1800. Perfect. Yeah. I don't think I can really attempt these two. So I was just missing out on the point because I was taking, I think in the equation, I was taking the total to be at least 200. I was assuming that total will be at least 200, so we'll get this difference. If that was the case, answer would be 300. But thankfully, options are given here. Okay, let me just wait for the quant section. Pretty happy so far. DILR, now I don't know whether this set would have been easy or not. Seems like it was manageable. But at least it wasn't just one question. I could solve three questions of this set. And I think this set had four questions anyway. Yeah. So pretty happy. It seems to be a decent attempt. VRC, of course, I don't know, but DILR seems to be fine. Should be at least 30 marks here. Let's see. Anyway, time to focus on quant. Arjun invested something for 3 years, simple interest 20%. He received X, borrowed X, invested 2X, 20%. Total interest received from compound interest. Okay. And this seems simple. Yeah, I think I can do it. Let me attempt. So, compound interest at 20%, and that is for how many years? For how many years was the amount invested? Okay, that only I have to find. Then maybe, okay, no, I think I can still solve it. Let me just solve it. So 15,625, and I need 20%, 3 years, so 60%. 0.6 into 15. Let's just find the amount. So 15,625 into 1.6. 25,000, okay. And borrowed another X. So 50,000 he has. And into 1 plus X percent, let's say 1 plus Y percent to the power of N, that will give me the amount, which will be uh, total interest was 74,416. So 74,416 plus 50,000. So 124,416. Okay, let me do 124,416 by 50,000. 2.48. And sorry, this was 20%. So 1.2 to some power n, 2.48. Let me just try out values. 1.2 into 1.2 into 1. This will be 1728. 1.2. Okay, I've done 4 times. Fifth time is working, so should be 5. Next one, okay, looking at it only, I don't feel like I'm attempting it. AB 100, BC 100 root 3, ABC 90, BD is perpendicular to the hypotenuse. Okay, this is perpendicular infinite times, so probably infinite GP. Seems manageable. 100 root 3. 100 root 3. 60, 90 and all triangle. Seems manageable. Maybe I'll come back to it. I don't know. Also seems like it could take some time to figure it out. Okay, anyway, next one, find the value of A. All of these log values have the same base of 5, so I can just combine them. Now, what are the values? 1 minus 1 by 2 will be 1 by 2 only. I'll get 1 by 2, then 2 by 3, then 3 by 4, and continuing like this. 1 minus 124 by 125. So denominator cancelled off with numerator. Okay, so denominator cancelled off with next numerator. So this will be cancelled off. 125 will be remaining. 1 by 125 is what I'll get, which means 5 to the 1 by 5 to the power 3, 5 to the power minus 3. And this is log base 5, so I'll get minus 3. Plus A, 0, so A should be 3. Okay, next train approaches tunnel. Look, rabbit is... Okay, this is a very basic question which we teach in module 0 also at times. Standard TSD question. Tunnel is there. Let's say, okay, let's say this is the tunnel and the entry is here, exit is here, train is approaching from. Rabbit is here. 2/5 of the length. So let's take this 2 and 3. So total is 5. And take this to be X. Runs towards entrance, catch it. Perfect. So simple. When the train runs X, rabbit runs 2. When the train runs X plus 5, rabbit runs 3. 3x, 2x, so I'll get X and 10. Speed of train to speed of rabbit, that will just be X by 2. 10 by 2, so 5. 5 is to 1. Okay. 5 is to 1 should be correct. Next one. How many numbers between 1 and 1000, both inclusive, can be expressed as a multiple of a perfect cube greater than 1? Multiple of a perfect cube. Now there will be common values. 2 cube and 4 cube and so on. I'll have to remove common values. How many cubes are less than 1000? If I just calculate, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, 5 cube is 125. Like this, I'll get many cubes. A lot of common values, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maximum, of course, I'll get till 9,000 is 10 cube. No, it seems time consuming. Maybe later, but I'm not very sure about this. For what values of k, the inequality greater than 1 is satisfied where x is any real number. Okay, seems manageable. But let me be a bit more selective. This one I'm not very confident about, so maybe I'll remove this. This one, right now, maybe, okay, I'll keep this. I can try it out. This one I'll come back to. I think I can solve this, but I'll come back to it. Let me look for easier questions. Manohar bought 50 kg sugar, paying 4,600. Quality balance, which read 1150 instead of a kg. How much was the loss of Manohar? Okay, loss. So which means 1150 instead of a kg. So he should have paid for 1000, but he paid for 1150. Okay, should have paid for 1000, paid 115 for 1150. Uh, but he's actually, okay, let's do it this way that when he's paying for 1000, or is when he's paying for 1150, he's getting 1000. He's getting 1000, he's paying for 1150. Which means he's getting 1, he's paying 1150 by 1000. And if he's getting 50, he's paying into 50. He's getting 50, he's paying for this much. He's paying for this much. Okay, I'm not very sure. The language seems, maybe I'll come back to it. Teacher asked her students to calculate the sum of seven distinct positive odd numbers less than 700. How many different values of the sums can the student find? Any seven distinct less than 700. So from 1, 3 until 699. Maybe what will be the minimum? Minimum will be 1 plus 3, 4. And then 1 plus 5 will be 6. 1 plus 7 will be 8. Okay, but seven distinct. So if I look at the lowest, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So if I add 14, 14, 14, 42, 7, 49. And highest, I think this will keep increasing by 2. So highest will be 7. Okay, I can just do AP. So 699 and 7 values, 699, 697, 695, and then 693. So this will be the middle value, and I'll get 693 into 7 as the final. And this was 7 into 7. Okay, so this was 49. 700 minus 7 into 7. 4900 minus 49. So 4851. 49 to 4851, how many values are there? A plus n minus 1 into d is 4851. So 4802 by 2 plus 1. 2401, 2402. This one I could spot the pattern because it was just odd numbers. So minimum, whatever it was, the next one would be two more than that. Next odd number. Okay, number of trailing zeros in 2000 factorial when expressed in base 16. Simple question. It's just how many powers of 16 are there in the factorial, which means how many powers of 2. So 1000 plus powers of 2. 1000 plus 5, 500, 250, 125, 62, 31, 15, 7, 3, and 1. Adding these up now, 1750, then 125. So I will now get 1875 plus 62. So I will get 1937 plus 31. So 1968, 1983, 1990, and 1994. And 2 to the power 4. So I'll divide by 4 and find the quotient. So I'll get 4, 4 something. So I'll just mark this option, only one option with 4. Yeah. Next one, diagram doesn't seem to be very friendly, and all the values have root 2 also. Okay, ABCD is a square. Largest circle passes through the vertices. Each of the four congruent triangles, circles touch the diagonals. No, I don't want to do this now. Maybe later. Let's see. Remainder when this is divided by 56. 13 to the power 7 by 56. 14 to the power 7 by 56. 14 will be easy. But then this whole thing to the power of 7 also. 13, if I check, 56 into 2 is 112, into 3, 168. Yeah, that is working. 13 square by 56, remainder will be 169. 168 is there, remainder will be 1. So 13 to the power 6 also remainder 1. 13 to the power 7, remainder will be 13. 14 to the power 7 should be divisible by 56. Yeah, because it has 2 to the power 7 and 7 to the power 7. Yeah, so here remainder will be 0. So ultimately we are getting remainder of 13 to the power 7, for which the remainder is 13 itself. Okay, seems to be fine. Seemed like I wasn't very sure about it, but I didn't give too much time also to trying it out. Now, photographer has a collection of m unique photos. Number of ways in which he can select at least two photos, at least two photos. So MC2 plus MC3 until MCM. Okay. So MC2 plus MC3 until MCM. This is 372,752. If I add MC0 and MC1 also, I'll get power of 2. And here also 32752 plus MC0 plus MC1. MC0 will be 1, MC1 will be M. And this has to be power of 2. This has to be 2 to the power M. Okay, 32, 752. Which power of 2? So I have 4,000. Let me just check. Uh, I know up till 2048 is there. 4096 into 2 into, so which, this is which power? Sorry. 4096 was 2 to the power 12. Yeah. So now we have power of 13, then 14, and then 15. 2 to the power 15 is 32768. And I have 32752. So difference is 16. M plus 1 is equal to 16. M is equal to 15. And now I want at least 5 photos. So MC5 onwards. Okay, first of all, total is 32,768, from which I have to subtract MC0, 15C0, 15C1, and so on. 15C0 will be 1. 15C1 will be 15. 15C2, 15 into 14 by 2. So 105. 15C3, 15 into 14 into 13 by 3 factorial. What am I getting? 65 into 7 or 35 into 13. 350, 105. 455. Okay, this seems very calculative. 15C4. 15 into 14 into 13 into 12. 5, 4 factorial. 12 into 2 is 24. 2 into 7. 15 into 7 into 13. 1365. Last value 15C5. 14, 13, 12, 11 by 5 factorial, which is 120. 10, 5 threes are and 2 7. Okay. So we have 21 into 143. I regret doing this question right now a little bit. It was very time consuming. But anyway, I'm almost done. So 3003. So if I just add all of these, or let me just subtract 32768 minus, if I can combine these, this is what? 121. 32647 minus 455 minus 1365 minus 3003 27824. Okay, I shouldn't have subtracted. It was at least 5 now. So why did I do this last one? So I'll just 3827. Okay. So I wasted a bit of time unnecessarily. No problem. 7 attempted until now. That is fine. Okay, if you look at the next one, 1,000 meters apart, start walking towards each other. They can meet in A minutes. If walks away from Abhishek towards Abhimanyu, meet in B minutes. Okay. A is to B, 1 is to 5. So 1,000 by, let's say, A is to B is 1 is to 5. A is in opposite direction. So sum of the speeds, and by difference of the speeds, 1,000 will anyway be cancelled off in the ratio. So I can say this is 1 is to 5. 1 is to 5. So if I multiply this with 5 and this with 1, so 5x minus 5y. Okay, 5x minus x will be 4x and y plus 5y will be 6y. X by y, 3 by 2. 3 by 2. Yeah. This was simple basics of relative speed. The next one, 80% milk, 5 units, m%, n%. How many distinct? Okay, no, I don't think I want to try this right now. 85 students, 8 like maths, English, both. Simple Venn diagram seems like. So maths, English, total is 85 and n is 8. 20% like both, which means 17 like both. Only English is less, only maths by 10. So if I take x plus 10 and x. Okay, seems easy. So 2x, 10, 17, 8. That is 35. So I'll be left with 50. X will be 25. So this will be 25. This will be 35. A difference of 10. How many students like maths? 35 and 17. So 52. Okay, let's go for it. Hmm. Okay, some issue. 1 second. I was clicking on the other cursor. Okay, integer values of a, b satisfy this. A plus b into a minus b is 2400. Seems familiar to me. If 2400, see, if a and b are even, one of them is even, one of them is odd, then both of these will be odd. So either both are even or both are odd. Either both are even or both are odd. Okay, anyway, I'll come back to this maybe. Product of the roots here is 3. Square of the sum of the roots. Product of the roots, c by a. 4p plus 3 by p plus 2. That is equal to 3. So I'll get 4p, 3p, p. 3 to 6 minus 3. That will be 3. P is 3. So I can form the equation also. P is 3. So I'm getting 5x square plus 5x and well, 15. 15 is equal to 0. X square plus x plus 3 equal to 0. Alpha plus beta is minus 1. Alpha beta is of course 3. And square of the sum of the roots. Square of the sum. Sum is this, square of this. Alpha square plus beta square. It's square of the sum. So that will just be the square of minus 1. So that should just be 1. Hmm. A solid hemisphere with a radius of 7 is removed from a larger hemisphere with radius of 14. Flat surface of the smaller removed coincides with flat surface of the larger. Okay. So I'm getting an idea of the image. Calculate the surface area of remaining part of larger hemisphere. I'm pretty sure I can do this. If I try to visualize, okay, maybe I'll try to, this is maybe the larger one and smaller one like this we are removing from here. That part is common. Surface area of remaining part. Remaining part. Let me just look at the original and make the changes, adjustments. So original larger one, we had first of all, the flat part is pi r square and the curved part is 2 pi r square. So total is 3 pi r square, 3 pi 14 square. And from this, if I subtract, this part is being removed. This part is removed. So I'm removing pi into 7 square. And then this part is being added now because that is being exposed. Yeah, so I'm adding 2 pi r square, 2 pi 7 square. If we combine these, I'm getting pi into 7 square. 22 by 7 into 7 square. So that will be 22 into 7, 154. And 322 by 7, 14, 14. So I'll get 2. 40 into 28 into 3, 84 into 2, 168 and 168. So I'll get 8, 4, 8 and 1. 1848, 154. 8 plus 4 is 2. Yeah. And this was similar to questions we've done in class also, in the class exercise. The adjustments we make when there is a change. Now, swimming pool, sixth floor, inlets. Okay, here seems like height will matter. Inlet A in 18 hours, inlet B in 24 hours. Pool was half full due to some technical glitch, decreased. Seems fine. Height will not matter. It's just about inlet outlet. Uh, Outlet are not even there. Okay, so we have 18 hours and we have 24 hours. 18, 24 LCM 72. So 3 units per, sorry, 4 units per hour. 3 units per hour. Half full, so 72 by 7. Okay, how much time will be remaining? Okay, 72 half we have done. 36 is remaining. And it has decreased by 25%. So we had 7, but it has 72, 1 second, 4, 3, that is fine. 36 is remaining. Okay, so it will become 3/4. So here 4 will come here. Okay, so if I calculate this will be 12, 48 by 7, and the first part was 36 by 7. So 70, 84 by 7 should be 12. I was getting confused because I was thinking this is not coming out to be integer, but we needed the total time. That will be an integer. Okay, this intersecting angle is given 130, other angles are shown, angle bisectors are parallel. No, it doesn't seem to be very easy. Okay, this one, 3 is to 7 is to 13. Now this one I think I can attempt. RST 3 is to 7 is to 13. Difference between T and S, multiple of both 6 and 10. 6 and 10 LCM is 30. So multiple of 30 definitely. Difference between T and S. Let me take this. So 6x is equal to multiple of 30, which means x has to be multiple of 5. X is multiple of 5. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And we have to find total amount. Okay, let me just take first x to be 5. So I will get 15, 35, and 65. So that difference here, T and S is 30. Okay, perfect. And here total, what am I getting? 115. And total is less than, I'll look at multiples of these. So if I look at maybe 30, I'm getting 30 better is, okay, let me do one thing, 5,000 by 115, 43 point something. So maximum I can multiply with is 43. 115 into 43, 4945. Okay, 4945. Last one, isosceles, equilateral area node doesn't seem to be very convenient. Okay, I don't want to attempt this one now. This one seems manageable. Okay, so if I look at this, one I'll take to this side. So I'll get 2x square minus x square, which is x square. Then minus kx and minus 4x. So minus x k plus 4. Minus k plus 4 into x. That will be minus kx and minus 4x. Yeah. And 9 minus 5. So that will be 4. X square plus 4x plus 5. Can I factorize? 4 is 5 minus 1, but I can't have minus. X plus 5 into x minus 1 will not work. Okay, so I can't factorize. Now, if I look at denominator, if I can't factorize, let me look at the discriminant. Uh, b square minus 4ac. So this is negative. Negative, and here I have 1. So it will be above the x-axis, which means it will always be positive. So if this is positive and I want overall to be positive, this also has to be positive. And here also I have 1. So basically, if the discriminant is negative, this will also be above the x-axis. Okay. So I want discriminant to be negative. Here, discriminant b square minus k plus 4 whole square. So k square plus 8k plus 16 minus 4ac. So minus 16. And I want this negative, less than 0. So k square plus 8k, k into k plus 8 less than 0. Minus 8, 0, positive, negative, positive. So I want negative between minus 8 and 0. Yeah. This was a question for which understanding of graph was definitely required. Graph which we see in module 2, 4.2, that was required, the quadratic graph. Now this one I remember getting confused by, so I don't want to see it now. Not this. Let me see this. 80% milk, 5 units of m% milk, uh, 2 units, 5 units. So maybe weighted average, 2 into 80 is 160, and 5m by 2 and 5, 7. So equal to 7 into n is one equation. N between 80 and 90, and it is an integer. Okay, so I can say 5m 7n minus 160 by 5 will be m, and this instead let me express n in terms of, so n will be 5m plus 160 divided by 7. And now n is between 80 and 90. So if I between 80 into 7, 560, 5m plus 160, and 90 into 7, 630. You subtract 160, 400 here, and 160, 470 here. So I'm getting 80 to, I'm getting 9 and 4. So I'm getting 15 values. Why 15 values? M has to be between 80 and 94. Okay, sorry, it was greater than 80, greater than 80. So greater than this, 81 to 94. 81 to 94 is still 14 values. Okay, maybe I'm missing out on something, but 13 seems to be the closest. What am I missing out on? Greater than 80. 80 into 7, 560, 160, 80, and here 470, 94. Okay, something I'm missing, but maybe for some of these I will not get integer values. So maybe let me check this. N is what? 5m plus 160. So 5m by 7 plus m basically has to be divisible by 7, I guess. Anyway, let me check. 5m plus, not m, 160 by 7. So 140, 154 is all, 6 will be remaining. So if I do 5m plus 6 by 7, that will be 5 into m plus 1. Okay, anyway, let me just check values here. In fact, 6 also I can write 7 minus 1. So basically 5m minus 1. Uh, do I have to check all these values? Maybe 7m minus 2m. So minus 2m minus 1. Basically 2m plus 1 also will work. So 81 into 2 plus 1, that is 163. 82 into 2 plus 1, 165. Uh, okay. And 83 into 2 plus 1, 167. Okay, it will keep increasing by 2. So seems to be okay. 169 next. Then 171, 173. 175 is divisible by 7. And maximum, how much will we get? 94. 94 into 2 plus 1. So 189. 189. 189 is also divisible, I guess. 175 to 189, 14. If I do 7 more also, that will work. 182. So 175, 182, 189. I think I'm spending too much time on this question. So 182 will not be there, of course, even number. Okay, answer should be 2. Too much time spent on this one. But anyway, at least I have the easier questions in my hand, so I'm not really worried about this. No, not this. Okay, I think maybe I'll go with this. Okay, let me try this maybe. So we have, this is AB is 100, BC is 100 root 3, this is 90, uh, 1 is to root 3. So this will be 30, 60, and 200. Okay, now what is happening? DB1, first of all, BD perpendicular. Okay, so if I put BD perpendicular, AB I already have, then DB1. Okay, so if I just find DB1, I think we'll be good to go with infinite GP. So uh, BD is first of all perpendicular to the hypotenuse. So I have 100, 100 root 3, 200. Base into height, base into height. So 100 into 100 root 3 by 200. So if I calculate, I'll get 50 root 3. This will be 50 root 3. And now if I'm trying a perpendicular here, mm, okay, let me use the angle, of course, 60. So opposite 60, I have 50 root 3. So opposite 30, I will have 50. This will be 50. And this will be therefore 150. And if this is 30, so opposite 90, if I have 150, opposite 30, I should have 75. So this will be 75. So AB is 100 and next is 75. Common ratio, second by first, 75 by 100, 3 by 4. So A divided by 1 minus 3/4. So 100 divided by 1/4. So that should be 400. Not very sure, but I think should be correct. Followed the infinite GP. Okay, maybe this one. This one for some reason seems easy, but I'm getting confused. Manohar bought 50 kg sugar, paying 4,600. Wholesaler had a faulty balance. What was the loss? Now, why will he make a loss? Because he's getting less. Is he getting less or paying for more? Both of them. He bought 50 kg sugar, which means he's getting 50 kg, paying 4,600. He's paying for more. Okay, let's see. So if he gets 1,000, he pays for 1,150, which means if he gets 1 kg, he pays for 1.15. Therefore, if he gets 50 kg, he pays for 50 into 1.15. 50 into 1.15. So 11.5 into 5. 55 and 0.25, 2.5. 57.5. He pays for 57.5 and he's paying 4,600. So 4,600 by 57.5. Hopefully this is an integer. Yeah, 80. So he's paying, so it is 80 rupees per kg and he's paying for 7.5 extra instead of 50. So 7.5 into 80 should be correct. 75 into 8. So that is 600. So this one I think might take some time. This one also might take some time. This one also will take some time. Maybe this also. I think I'm mostly done. Don't really think I have time to attempt anymore. If I consider a square minus b square, a square has to be more than 2400. First value, no, seems like it'll take too much time. Here, is there any shorter way? 2 cube. No, here also it'll take some time. Okay, I think I'm mostly done. Mostly done. I don't really think I have time to attempt any more. Can't see a shorter method for this. This one maybe I could have solved, but I've lost a bit of touch with this particular type of question. And these also seem time consuming. Okay, so I'm pretty happy. 17 attempts. And usually my accuracy in quant is pretty good. I mean, I usually try to get 100% accuracy, of course. Sometimes one might be correct if two are in two. Sometimes one might be incorrect. If two are incorrect, it's usually a bad paper for me. But now let's wait and see the score. VRC is always a bit unpredictable for me, but DILR I think went pretty well. Should be at least 30. Quant should be at least 40 at least. Okay, let me see the scorecard. Pretty good, pretty good. VRC 12 correct, 4 incorrect, but only 2 negatives. 34. DILR all correct, quant all correct. That is what I like to see. That is usually what I get in the paper, that DILR and quant I have all questions correct. One incorrect is still fine per section, but 100% accuracy is what I look for. But VRC seems fine. Within live solving, of course, I could have attempted more if I was reading in my mind, not reading aloud, because that, of course, makes me slower. But within that limitation, it was good. DILR, I think pretty good. That last set, which I thought was time consuming, it actually turned out to be easy. So that was one thing worked out. And quant, no complaints. I think 17 questions. I chose the questions that I could solve. So I'm pretty happy. So, see, with respect to the takeaways from this particular test, it went much better than the previous one I had taken, SimCAT 6. So, one thing was maybe that with VRC, I knew that I would be a bit slower since I'm talking out loud and I'm not really reading in my mind, which is what I'm used to. So, I focused on attempting less. Uh, Now, of course, if I was not solving it live, I would have attempted more. I would have been able to read more, attempt more. But within the limitations, I think this was pretty good. And if your speed is, for example, low, where maybe you're not able to read very fast, then at least make sure that you are reading things thoroughly and you are reading things that you are more comfortable with. And the questions also seem to be easier. DILR, the first set that I attempted, I was pretty confident because it was very simple data and the logic was also very simple. 100% you have to subtract the others, you will get P by Q. And total had to be a multiple of 84,000. Okay, so it had to be, and it of course had to be divisible by 840, which was there in the denominator. So that was also pretty simple. And that tournament part with the table, the only thing there was making cases. So that is one thing that I see a lot of students very uncomfortable with, that they are not very, let's say, they are a bit reluctant to explore cases. Now, of course, there might be sets where there are a lot of cases and the set might be difficult. But many times there are sets where there might be two, three cases, but the set might not be very difficult. So for that particular set, I was very sure I knew how to make the table because that experience is there. Similar kind of set I've solved before. In fact, you also have solved in your class exercise if you've prepared with IMS. If you remember, in tournaments, there is a set where you have those Hitler, Stalin, and all of that, that chess competition. Uh, chess one, okay, not really chess one, because those players are playing against each other. But similar to that, you might have come across other sets in your exercises where you have one group of people playing against another group of people, and matches are between the two groups. So you have one group players in the row, one group players in the column. So that part of the table, of course, if you practice enough, you will get with experience. And in fact, it is similar to the round robin table also that we've seen in class. So that table construction was not very difficult. But of course, that experience matters. If you've done a similar set before, then you'll be more confident and you'll be quick to start off. You'll be able to start off with the right table. And for that, the only thing was the cases, which even I was a bit hesitant about, because, of course, the writing it on the screen is not very easy. But at least the number of people were less. It was just four people, four people. And then exploring the cases, we had the number of wins for all the players. So that data was very direct. So I was fairly comfortable with that set because of that experience, and because it was just four people, values were not missing. At least we had number of wins for all of them. And one question also gave the hint. So it's also very useful to look at the questions and the options. The first question that was there, it gave us the hint that it is any of these could be possible, whether A with B or B with C or B with D. I just made three tables where I explored those cases, and one of those turned out to be invalid. And it did not really take much time to make the table or to explore the possibilities. Okay, so that is one set I would say definitely manageable along with the first set. And arrangement one, I don't know. I will have to see that one with the east and west. Maybe it was manageable. It seemed to be manageable, if not very easy. But that last set, which I initially was a bit reluctant to solve because of all the numbers, it turned out to be fairly manageable. Okay, so set selection is what you should focus on. That warehouse one, maybe it was solvable. But looking at the amount of data for two different warehouses, then the additional conditions, that made me hesitant to approach the set. And quant, you saw that there were times when I started with a question. See, the problem with a lot of experience is that you might think that you can solve every question. If you start practicing quant for years, you start teaching for years, many times you'll feel that you can solve almost every question, which is of course not the case. Many times you will get stuck on questions also. So when that happened, I at least left the question without wasting too much time. I did not remain stuck on any question for too long. I made sure I got to the end of the paper. I had the easy marks. And then I came back to those questions. For example, that lost question with respect to 50 kgs, 4600. That was a question which seemed easy the first time when I was attempting it. But I wasn't able to figure it out. For some reason, I was getting a brain freeze. For some reason, I was getting confused with the question. So rather than remaining stuck on it, I came back to it. And that was important. Because if I had remained stuck on it, then more time would have gotten wasted. And more than that, my confidence also would have gone down. And the time pressure would have started getting to me. Okay, so at least I'm happy that I stuck to my rules. I stuck to the strategy. I made sure that at the beginning, I focused on questions which I was fairly comfortable with solving. And even if I chose a question which was, let's say, which was not very easy at that time for me, I left it whenever I realized that, okay, I'm not getting it right now. And then I came back to it later. Okay, so these are the things that you should focus on. Overall, the performance is good, but I would say don't really focus on the performance so much. Maybe there might be some other SimCAT in which, like in the previous one itself, where I did not do that well. Okay, so you will have good days, you will have bad days. But if you keep practicing and refining your weaker areas, getting more practice, especially with your weaker areas, and very importantly, taking more tests and getting better at question selection, that is where you will see that you are getting consistent results. Okay, so focus more on the process part. Like my strategy here was similar to what I did in the previous one, where I first focused on solving the easier questions. Okay, so keep following the consistent strategy, you will keep getting consistent results. Now, that is pretty much it, but let me just take a look at the comment section and let's see if you guys have any questions. If I can see any question I can pick up, I'll address it. And just after, maybe once the session is over, you can just post a comment in the final video where you can tell me whether you found the session to be insightful and what you gained from the session. Okay, maybe some takeaway from any part of the section, any section, the way I attempted, if it provided any insight to you, whether you are planning to make any changes in your own test taking approach. Okay, so let me know in the comments. It'll be nice to see whether I've had some impact, whether some of you will actually be changing your test taking strategy and trying to improve in this right manner. Okay, so let me know in the comment section later on. I'll take a look at that. Uh, Someone is asking, is the SimCAT harder than the actual CAT? Actual CAT is also not of a fixed difficulty level. There's nothing like CAT is easy or CAT is moderate or CAT is difficult. The difficulty level of CAT varies from year to year. In 1 year, it might be on the easy side. In 1 year, it might be difficult. 1 year, it might be moderate. SimCATs also, the difficulty level varies so that you get that varied experience. You get that experience with all the different types of difficulty levels. Okay, so it's nothing like SimCAT is harder or SimCAT is easier. CAT also has different difficulty levels. Similarly, SimCAT also has different difficulty levels. And that is what is required because you need to be prepared for each and every kind of paper. No one knows what will happen in this year's CAT. Anything is possible, so you should not go into the paper with preconceived notions. You should be flexible as per the paper in front of you, and you should be following that consistent test taking strategy of easy questions first and not remaining stuck on a question for too long. Is giving mock daily a good strategy? No, definitely not daily. I would say 2 mocks a week is pretty good at this stage. All of you, I would say, unless you've started with the syllabus recently, if that is not the case, if you've started with the syllabus some time ago, you're mostly done with the syllabus, or you're completely done with the syllabus, you should be taking 2 mocks a week right now. Okay, or if you're thoroughly done with the syllabus, you're comfortable with all the topics, maybe if you're a repeater, you've taken the CAT last year, gotten a decent percentile, then you can take 3 mocks a week also, right? Okay, so 2 to 3 mocks a week is what you should be looking at if you're done or mostly done with the syllabus. But make sure that you're analyzing a mock thoroughly before, make sure that you're analyzing a mock thoroughly before you're taking the next mock, because otherwise you will not really improve. Taking the test is not good enough. It is important because as you keep taking tests, you keep getting more comfortable with the test environment and solving questions within the exam pressure and time pressure. But what is also very important, in fact, more important, is that every test you analyze and you see what you did incorrectly, what you did not just incorrectly with respect to a particular question, but with respect to the test taking strategy in general. I'm sure all of you would have at some point spent too much time on a single question, because of which you missed out on some easy question. Maybe you've not been attempting the quant section in rounds, like round one and round two. 2 rounds is what I myself usually follow. So if you've not been doing that, then that analysis will be very important. Even if you have been doing, you should still be analyzing to seeing what you could have done even better. Okay, and therefore, I would say maximum of 3 mocks a week will be the number so that you are able to analyze each and every mock thread. Okay, so 2 to 3 mocks a week. What else? Is it possible to scale from 40 to 80, 90? See, again, don't focus on the score. I did not have any target for this paper. I can see I got a pretty good score. It seems to be 121. So I'm happy with the score now. But before the paper and during the paper, I am not at all thinking about the score or the number of attempts or the percentile. See, you have to think about it logically. If during the test, if your mind is focused on the number of questions you want to attempt, the number of marks you want to get, the percentile you want to get, then during the test, you will not be 100% focused on the question in front of you or on the process of identifying the easier questions and leaving the difficult questions. So during the test, you should not be distracted by targets. I know a lot of people get that sense of reliance from targets, like they feel a sense of assurance that, oh, I have this target, I will try to achieve this target. But trust me, targets are something which only end up distracting you during the test, at least in my case. Okay, you can decide for yourself, but I can speak about my experience that whenever I keep a target, I want to attempt this much. Let's say if I keep a target, I want to attempt 15 questions in quant, then I will find it difficult to actually achieve that target. Because every time I attempt a question or every time I can't solve a question, I will continuously be looking at the timer and I will be continuously thinking, do I have enough time remaining in which I can attempt 15 questions? And my mind will be focused on 15 questions, my target, and achieving that target. But just thinking about the target will not help you achieve the target. You have to focus on the process. You have to focus on looking for easy questions, not remaining stuck on a question. If you focus on that process, then as per your current ability level, you will be doing the best that you can. You might be doing better than your target also. If you're doing less than the target, maybe it is a difficult paper. Okay, so that is one thing that I personally follow. I never keep a target. Doesn't make sense to keep a target if you don't know the difficulty level of the test. And of course, during the test, you want to be completely focused on the process of taking the test, not on the end result, which is score or percentile or number of attempts. Okay. Now I think we're mostly done. Questions about improvement of all the three sections, I'm sure that will be there for all of you. Improvement, of course, comes from practice. There's no substitute for practice. There's no other shortcut. There's no simple solution. Like actually, the solution is simple. You practice more, you will improve. You revise your weaker areas, you will improve. Okay, so in that way, the solution is simple. It just requires a lot of time and effort. So there's no substitute for it. That experience matters a lot. Maybe let's say 5 years ago, I would not be this fast. 5 years ago, I would not be this fast at question selection. The way I can select questions now, whether in DILR or quant, it has definitely improved with more practice and more experience. Okay, so there's no substitute for that, and that is true in your case also. You don't have 5 years, but even in 2 months or 2.5 months, you can improve significantly. If you make sure that you whatever free time you have, you are giving it to CAT preparation and try to enjoy the process. I've seen over the years that the people who do the best in the CAT are the people who actually like solving questions. If you are thinking about it from a state of mind where you are reluctant to sit down and practice, where you don't really feel like sitting down and practice, you don't feel like taking tests, then it will be difficult to do very well. You have to come to it from a mindset where you want to sit down and practice because you enjoy the process of solving questions, because you enjoy the process of improvement, and you get satisfaction out of practicing more and improving more. And you take tests as a challenge, not just as a challenge with respect to attempting more, getting more marks, but as a challenge with respect to being disciplined about the strategy, as a challenge with respect to being consistent in each and every test where you're following the correct strategy and remaining calm during the test because you have faith in the strategy. Okay, so if you approach preparation and test taking with this mindset, and you should try to enjoy taking tests also. Okay, it can be very satisfying to think of it as a challenge where you are basically like a machine, you are doing what is the most efficient process for taking the test. You're following the most efficient strategy in the most efficient process where you know that the time is limited. And in the limited time to maximize your score, you have to look at the easy questions first. Okay, so focus on these parts. Focus on the test taking strategy part rather than keeping a target about number of attempts or marks or percent. Okay, and whenever you see that after a test, if you're analyzing and you see that you were not able to solve an easy question, then get more practice with that type of question. Go back to that topic, go back to that concept, solve those types of questions again. That revision, even of the same questions in quant especially, will help you a lot. When you solve a question the first time, you might understand it, but you won't become good at it. You solve it the second time, you'll become better at it. You solve it a third time, you will become very good at it, very comfortable with it, very fast at it also. So whenever you're feeling that from a particular topic or a particular area, you're not able to attempt easy questions, or maybe you're taking too much time to attempt easy questions, then go back and revise those topics. And revision doesn't mean looking at your notes. Okay, if you just look at notes, you will just become better at looking at notes. But if you solve questions again, you will become better at solving questions. So revision should mean solving questions again. Okay, so for quant, revise your weaker areas by solving questions again. DILR, VRC, just keep getting more practice. Keep practicing, I would say 3 to 4 DILR sets every day, 3 to 4 RCs every day, and analyze each question that you're attempting. In VRC, compare your logic with what is there in the solution. In DILR, after your attempt, look at the video solution. Wherever you made a mistake, wherever you got stuck, analyze it and see what was the correct logic required. So that next time in a similar set, you will be faster and you won't make the mistake. Okay, so the preparation method is simple. You just have to make sure that you're putting in the time and effort. Okay, that you're taking tests with the right strategy, because see, every test that you are not very disciplined with, like in a test, if you end up getting stuck on a question for too long, then it will start becoming a habit. And on the day of the CAT also, you'll be following the same thing where you're getting stuck on a question for too long and you're missing out on easy questions. You have to form the right habits. Okay, right habits means that you are never spending too much time on a single question. And a question, if you find difficult, you are leaving it quickly. Okay, so keep focusing on that, keep practicing more and revising your weaker areas, and there's nothing else to do that will help you improve. And with respect to practice, I would say now is the time to get started with PYQs, the previous year questions, because those are, of course, the best questions you can have in your preparation. 2017 to 19 start solving the questions, and 2020 to 2024, last 5 years, start taking them as mocks. Apart from that, in IMS, you have the master classes also. And of course, SimCATs are always there. So they'll keep providing more practice. Okay, so that is it from my side. I can see a lot of comments on YouTube, but there are too many comments right now. So maybe you can reach out to me if you're an IMS student. You can just reach out to me through Telegram, or you can just book a My Plan. I'll be opening slots today itself. And otherwise, you can leave a comment here. Once the live session is over, you can leave a comment and maybe I can check the comment section for the next few days, for the next 1 week. If you have a question, you can ask me in the comments. I will try to reply to you within 1 week. Okay, so if I have not been able to answer your question, because there are a lot of questions I can see right now, just leave a comment and you can ask me your question in the comment. I will try to monitor this video for the next 1 week. I'll try to reply to your comment. And also, it will be nice if I can get some feedback. So let me know what was your takeaway from the session, what insight you derived, and what changes you are planning to bring in your preparation and especially in your test taking. Okay, what mistakes you've been making in your test taking strategy and what changes you are planning in your test taking. Okay, let me know through the comment section. Okay, that is it. Bye everyone. Hope all of you keep using the insights you might have derived from this to keep improving in your test taking performance. All the best.